Good morning, everybody. Welcome to 5 Minute Fridays for Hacking Self-Storage. Okay, today I am going to be talking about the microsite. I'm going to give you an update. Firstly, a lot of problems with my storages happen to start with me having a big mouth and the podcast. And I understand it. And I understand that I've had many messages over this week since Monday's episode telling me, Dean, maybe you shouldn't be so open on these podcasts. And I understand that. And I really do appreciate the messages and the concern because I'm very, very open. But I feel like that I still want to maintain open and tell people what we're doing, how we're doing things, because I almost want this to be a documentation of my life through storage and my journey through storage. So for me, it's very, very important because I want the kids to be able to see my ideas and when they came off and when they didn't. And these microsites, for example, maybe we'll have 10 of them, maybe we'll have none of them, but they'll be able to see the thought process that I go through from the start to the finish and over hopefully many years, and they can see what works and what hasn't worked and where the ideas come from and why the ideas started, and the whole process, I suppose, of exactly what I've been looking for to try and expand my self-storage portfolio. So, like I said, I really do appreciate everybody's messages and stuff, and yeah, I get the fact that I can probably give too much away here, but do you know what? Does it really matter? The only thing it ever costs me is money. And if it costs, and I have a completely different relationship with money than most people, because money for me, it's a token. It's a token for experiences. It's a token for memories. It's just tokens to get stuff. And so I choose relationships over money. I choose memories over money. I choose documentation over money ultimately. And so I've sat down and I thought about it and thought what's important to me. And ultimately this podcast, being open and honest, and my other podcast as well called Motivated Entrepreneurs, it's a daily podcast that I do. I perceive the value that I get and the value that hopefully I'm giving out and the value I'm going to give to my kids is more advantageous than the downside of documenting in a podcast. And so today I am going to talk about the microsite. I am going to give you an update. I do think that it's dead in the water now. I aren't going to tell you the location just yet because ultimately I will still look for a facility in this location, because for me, it doesn't matter that this microsite might not work, because I think the concept of microsites definitely works. But also I do believe in the area. I do believe that the location is right for even a bigger site. It can definitely hold and support a bigger site. So I'm not going to tell you the location because I just feel like that's going down too much documentation. It's saying too much. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you that what happened last week. So first of all, I met the person who was the estate agent there, the agent on site, awesome guy, great guy, and we came to a deal. We came to backwards and forwards. We came to a deal. I said I wasn't prepared to pay more than £8 per square foot. He took it to the landlord, who was, I think he was getting £12 per square foot or £12.50 per square foot previously, but obviously times change, and that's why they're not there anymore. And I was going to go on a long lease. Hopefully, we're a good, solid client as well. And then it got accepted. So then I got on the phone with Gareth and said, Gareth, I need to meet you down there as soon as possible. I need to get this place open straight away. And he was like, okay, let's do this thing. So we met on Friday, last Friday. And this is where, again, I'm being brutally honest. Now I think about it, I'm thinking, I can't believe you did this thing, you absolute plonker. So I was talking to Gareth. I said, this is Gareth from Active Supply and Design and Janus. And I was like, right, okay, what do you think, Gareth? Do you think it's good? He goes, yeah, it's absolutely brilliant location, and you can't go wrong. I know you'll have done your numbers. I goes, oh yeah, Gareth, I've done my numbers. It's a 40% return on cash. And I was like, and the guy, he stood a couple of, I mean, nothing signed, we hadn't even gone to heads of terms, but it's agreed in principle. I'm like, looking back and thinking, why did I do that? Anyway, so not only did I do that, so did I tell Gareth how good it was for return on investment and stuff, but I also told the agent about the podcast. Why would I do that? Why would I tell the agent about the podcast where I actually talk about how good this microsite is? What would I do that for? Anyway, so he goes, all right, brilliant. I'm actually going to take a listen, Dean. And then I'm looking back and thinking, all right, so he's probably, hello, if you're listening. He's probably listened to the podcast. And then, so he's listened to me spouting off how good a deal this is for us, for me moving forward. And he's probably also, well, he definitely also heard me talk to Gareth and say about the return on investment I'm getting. And then so I get an email on the way home saying, this is when I was at services. Luckily, well, I got it before I was at services, but I pulled over in services on the way back. And the email basically said, they're not willing to do a deal at that thing. They want £10 per square foot. I'm like, oh, man. And I know it's only 4,000 square foot. So it's not massive. It's only £8,000 over a year. Does it really matter? I'm like, yeah, but you know what? It kind of does, because these microsites don't have a massive amount in them. Yes, they've got a good return on investment, but £8,000 a year, ultimately, it might make like 12% to the bottom line, but it's still taking the shine off it. But not only that, they also want to make money off the car park. They want to, in these, going backwards and forwards with the emails and stuff, but they also said, look, you can have it for, on year 5, because we actually we agreed at 36,000. We met in the middle. I told them all the reasons why, but I couldn't do any more. So we met in the middle at 36,000. So that was agreed in principle, but it was on year 5, the rent review on year 5, they put in, well, not in small letters, but they put a rent review and also rent review for car park. I'm like, whoa. What do you mean? So I rang him up and said, what do you mean rent review for the car park? And he said, well, because you're making money out of it. I'm just a middleman, Dean. I want to make sure. And by the way, I think he's brilliant. I think he's a very, very good agent. And obviously I'm no names or anything. And I seem to have a really good relationship with him. And he said, I'm just a middleman, Dean, but if you're making money from the car park with your external units, probably shouldn't even mention them external units, to be fair, then they want to make money off you because you're making money off them. And he said, don't worry, it won't be as much as the building. I'm like, bloody hell, of course it won't be. And I said, no, can't have that whatsoever. And so I said, that's a deal breaker for me. And that was the end of it. That was literally the end of it. So from me going from £32,000 a year rent up to £36,000 a year rent. And then they also wanted, on top of that, and by the way, I know these rent reviews are going to be very, very aggressive, because I believe we've got a good deal and they just basically wanted to rent it out. So yeah, the rent reviews on year 5 would include the car parking. And that was a killer for me, because it could be 10 grand, it could be 20 grand, it could be, and we just can't play that game. We can't play that game at all. So I said, listen, it can't include that whatsoever. It can't include any rent review for the car parking. And by the way, I'm going to tell you another hiccup as well, because I'm still moving forward with a quote with Gareth, just in case it does happen, then we're ready to go. And so I basically said, look, here's the deal, £36,000, no rent review for the car park. We've got to take it or leave it. I can't go any higher than that. It's up to you. And I was hoping that I would hear back. It's now Thursday morning at 8:36 in the morning when I'm recording this. And so I would have liked to have heard back by now if it was going to happen. This was last Friday that we went backwards and forwards with emails and said, look, I can't do any more. I can't do anything with a rent review for the car park. It can't happen. And so I would have suspected that if it was going to happen, it would have happened already. But never mind, because I like the concept of microsites. For me, it's not wasted time at all, because it's a learning curve. Microsites can work. However, I do think that something that came up yesterday that I didn't know about, it's a good job I didn't do this podcast before, because I want to warn everybody of this hiccup at the minute. So obviously Gareth sent me a design of all the rooms, etc., and how it's going to pan out and what percentage of the building is going to be used is going to be lettable space, because that is a massive part of your formula. What part of a building is lettable space? Because of the fire regulations, they're saying that we're going to need 2 staircases, which we're fighting it. We're trying to ask the questions, but if that's the case, guess what? My lettable space is only 62%. So 38% is going to be wasted corridors. Whoa. So that takes it from a really good ROI to an average ROI. So you've always got to remember, take advice. First of all, ring Gareth, ring Scott, or ring the guys at Janus, because it's all one company basically. Now, and get a plan first of all, because it's no point calculating, thinking, oh yeah, I can definitely do here. I don't know, 80% units. Well, okay, 75% lettable space, because you probably won't get it. You might get it, but you might not as well. So you've got to take that into consideration before everybody starts going, because I've been speaking to so many people who want to do a microsites now, which is fantastic, great concept. But before we all go running in there and signing a deal, make sure you get it planned out by Janus, by whoever you want to use. Make sure you get it planned out to make sure, and check with building regs, see if you need 2 staircases or not. Now, there is a way around it. We can have an enclosed fire exit as the only staircase, an enclosed fire exit as the only staircase. That is problematic itself, because you want the staircases to be open. You don't want the staircases to have a door and have to open the door, bring stuff through. It's awkward for the customers. But if that's the only way we can make it payable, make it doable, then it's something that I'm going to tell Gareth to look at today, just to plan out to see if it's a possibility. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware that you will need an enclosed staircase, and the enclosed staircase, if you want another staircase, that means 2 staircases. Well, I say you will. We are trying. I mean, Gareth knows better than me, but I don't know why we do. But Gareth seems to think we do. So, yeah, enclosed fire-rated staircase, and if that's the case, obviously, then it's going to cost. It's going to cost you either in what's the word? Accessibility for the customers, or it's going to cost you in terms of your lettable square footage, lettable space, because you are going to use 2 staircases. You're going to have one not enclosed and one enclosed, or you're going to have one that's less accessible to the customers because it's enclosed, and therefore you will be able to get, I don't know, hopefully 75% lettable area. So yeah, there is some things to think about. So there's my update on that location, and I will obviously keep you guys updated exactly what is happening, because I do think microsites are a great possibility. Maybe 4,000 square foot was a little bit small because of the having, if we're going to go down the route of 2 staircases, maybe it was a little bit small. But again, this is a journey. This is a journey for me. Maybe 7,000 square foot is the optimum. Maybe 6,000 is. I don't know. But it's a journey. I'm learning. I'm educating myself all the time. But I do think it's definitely worth looking at these microsites for me anyway. I think these are a fantastic concept, and one that I'm willing to go down the route of. And if I have to have a fire rated staircase, there's the only staircase up, then I'm willing to do that. I'm just thinking out loud here, maybe even a lift. It's only a small site, but will it take up much room? Probably not a good idea. I know it's an expense. So yeah, I'd probably still be okay with a fire rated 1 staircase. I know the accessibility isn't great for the customers, but if that's the only way around we can do it, then maybe so be it. Maybe. So I just said the location, and I've asked my VA to edit that bit out, because ultimately, I can't believe I said it. Ultimately, it's still a goer for me in terms of location, but maybe not this site. So yeah, Jojo, thank you very much for editing that out. I'm sorry, guys, that I haven't actually mentioned where it is. All right. If you're actually watching this on LinkedIn or anything, I've actually gone red. I've actually gone red. Okay, guys, girls, thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate you. There is the update on the site, microsite, and I will keep you updated to any information that we get going forward on these microsites. All right, dudettes, I'll speak to you next week, when hopefully Monday, I will be telling you about a fantastic week so far. Right now, as of Thursday, because I'm recording this on Friday morning, it looks like it's been a really good week for us in the storage on both sites, which is good. I think we've only got one unit available at Beverly at the minute, which is good moving forward, because obviously we're going to have a bigger site at Beverly, which is nice. Okay, guys, girls, thank you so much. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.